Well, it's hard to give a short answer to that question. I will give you a little background. My high school guidance counselor, a man named Louis Demby, called me into his office and he asked me, he introduced himself as a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. And he said that they were starting a guide write program in Gary, and they wanted me to assist them with establishing the program. And if I was interested, go home and talk to your parents. But if you're interested, we'd like to fly you to Los Angeles, California for a conference. It's going to be at the Kappa House in Los Angeles. And several members of the Gary Alumni Chapter will be going with you as chaperones. So I flew to Los Angeles, my first time on an airplane. I went to the conference there, they trained me, and then I came back and we started our own chapter in Gary. And I'd also like to add that I'm a first generation college graduate in my family. And so Kappa League was my first opportunity around college educated African American men. And that exposure is really what was so critical to me, wanting to go to college and really to try and pattern myself in a lot of ways the way they conducted themselves. I could talk about that for a long time, but it was that exposure to uh, college graduates and the way that they carried and conducted themselves as men that made a real significant impression upon me. And I wanted to be like them. So the second part of that is when I went off to college at Northwestern, I wanted to be a member of Kappa Alpha Psi because of my exposure and my experience in Kappa League. And it just so happens that Northwestern University has the Theta chapter, one of the single letter chapters in Kappa Alpha Psi, and I pledged Kappa as a freshman at Northwestern.